Hi, I'm Jeff Walters, and welcome to The Minutes. And thanks for listening today. It's great to have you all on The Minutes this week. This is a City of Thunder Bay podcast. The Minutes takes a look at what happened at Thunder Bay City Council this past week. But this week, we have a special edition of the show looking at how the City of Thunder Bay operates. We have a feature interview with Kadolph, the city's special events developer. Thunder Bay is a busy place with lots going on in the summer, or event season. We'll hear what's in store in just a moment. You can find The Minutes wherever you get your podcasts, including our YouTube channel and our website, thunderbay.ca/theminutes. If you want to keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening at City Hall, just hit that subscribe button. There's a lot to do in Thunder Bay this summer. Take in a festival, head to a park, or be part of the cultural scene in the city. In the Recreation and Culture Division, summer is known as event season, and there's a lot of them this year. Kadolph is the special events developer in Thunder Bay, and she can talk about all of the big events in the city this summer. Karen, thanks for coming into the Minute Studio today.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
Yeah, glad you could make it in this pre-event part of the season, I guess.
It is, yes.
Okay, so we're getting ready. A lot of events taking place this year. The first one is Quest. I've heard about it for years. Never been. What's Quest all about?
Okay, so Quest is our only indoor event, and it's Quest Tech and Gaming. So Quest over the last couple of years has kind of transformed. So we really see this as a science, technology, engineering, arts, and math showcase. So that's STEAM. So normally everybody hears about STEM. Yeah, so STEAM is different because it adds in the A for arts. And so because of the cultural piece and everything, we add that in. We also do have a gaming component as well. So this takes place at the Fort William Gardens. It happens on May 9th and 10th. We have some programming on the Friday during the day. So we can have schools, we can have homeschooled kids come in, and then it goes until 6 o'clock at night on the Friday, and then 12 till 6 on the Saturday.
And then what is Quest, though, itself? Because I picture a bunch of people lined up at computers. I think I've seen pictures of that. Was that what it is?
So that's how Quest actually began, was more of a gaming competition. And so after the pandemic, we kind of changed it up a little bit. So with this new one, what we're doing this year actually is going to be really fun. So we are taking over the curling club. And so that's kind of where like our STEAM showcase happens. So you'll find Science North, you'll find interactive booths. Everything is hands-on learning opportunities. And then we'll also be having a stage. So we'll have some speakers. We've invited Fleet to come out, talk about the electric truck. Science North will do their science show on there. Some of our different booths will also do shows on there as well. So that'll be really neat. And then what's really cool this year is that the Gardens is being taken over for the silent disco. So if you've never seen a silent disco before.
No clue what that even is.
So fun. So everyone wears headphones and the music is actually in your ears in the headphones. So as an outsider that doesn't have the headphones on, it looks like a bunch of people that are weirdly dancing to nothing. But in their headphones, they have the music from the DJ. And so they have all of the sound. They have the party kind of on their head. What's nice about this is that it makes it a bit more sensory friendly. So if it's too loud, you can turn it down. If you've had too much, you want to talk to the person beside you, you just take off the headphones and you can talk at a regular level. So it's really neat. And then we'll have kind of dance club lighting in there. We'll have some really neat kind of glow furniture and everything. So it's a vibe. And then there's some virtual reality gaming that also takes place in there too. So it's just really neat and something that's really different. And I'm not sure if we've actually ever done this in Thunder Bay before.
Yeah, okay. This doesn't sound like anything I've ever heard of before, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's different and it's fun.
Yeah,
yes.
So you're going to make the Gardens the coolest place to be for the weekend?
Yes, yep, 2 days.
And this sounds like it's something that's kind of gauged or geared, I should say, to younger people, right? Like this isn't something that necessarily someone older might come out to.
Fair. So what we do say, though, is tech is for everyone. So we do try to get different elements that everybody could learn from. We know lots of grandparents are often bringing their kids to it, so we want something for them to do as well. But this is kind of that teen tween kind of age group. Science North is there, though, too, with some really young programming as well. So there really is kind of something for everybody, but yeah, more of like the teenage.
And is this exciting because it's the only indoor one?
this is always fun because I don't have to worry about the rain. So that's kind of nice. And then generally what happens is Mother Nature then says, let's make it the sunniest weekend of the year. So that's fun, but it is nice knowing that it is indoors and it happens no matter what.
And the curling club component you said is new this year.
It is, yes. So we're expanding the footprint and moving kind of the tech or the STEAM showcase over to the curling club so that we can kind of turn down the lights in the gardens and make that a really fun area.
And do you still have the gaming component as well, or are you kind of steered away from that?
So there is the gaming, but it's a bit different. So it used to be more competitive. Now it's just more fun. There's no fees for anybody either. So Quest is free. There is concessions, so obviously you have to pay for the food, but everything else is free. So that's kind of what we've done that's really different. There used to be entry fees, and so now there isn't. So there is the virtual reality gaming. We're looking at getting some kind of tabletop gaming added to the event as well. And so this is something that over the next couple of years, you'll see a lot of growth at.
And you don't need to, it's not like you need to bring your computer, right? Like everything's supplied.
Everything is there. Everything that you need is at Quest.
Okay, so no one's walking in with their laptop.
No, please. No, you don't need to.
Okay.
No.
Now, when I think events through, we kind of mentioned that that Quest is the only indoor event. I think always outdoor events, right, for city events. So what's on the docket for this year?
We have a busy year as usual. So we've already done Snow Day on the Waterfront, which happened on February the 17th at the marina. It was chilly, but we did have a good turnout.
Yeah,
so
that was a
lot
cold
of fun.
weekend. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, but it was fun. So then after Quest comes Kite Festival. So that's out at Chippewa Park. Then we go to Canada Day on the Waterfront. So that's at the marina. That's July 1st, obviously. And then the next week is Teddy Bear's Picnic. So that's at Vickers Park on July the 8th. Then the very next week, we start live on the waterfront. So that starts July the 16th, and that's every Wednesday until August the 20th. Then we get into the summer send-off on the 27th and 28th. And then we do Arts and Culture Under the Lights on September the 19th.
Okay, so let's back it up all the way to the first couple events. I can't remember all of them that you talked about, but Kite Festival. I know that one's been going on for a long time. What exactly is the Kite Festival?
So Kite Festival is really fun. So 2 years ago now was when we had the snowbirds. We moved it to Marina Park just for that specifically. So last year we returned to Chippewa Park and we had over 2,000 people out at the park. So it was a really great attendance.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. And so with this event, to me, it's really like a community picnic. So it's kind of the nostalgic feel. It's Chippewa Park with the rides, tons of fields, tons of spaces. So last year we did, instead of having professional kite flyers come in, we bought a whole bunch of kites and gave those away for people to fly. And then we have inflatables. We have lots of different programming, food vendors. So this year we're going to kind of expand the footprint a little bit more, go into more of the fields, probably fix some of our parking issues. We had so many people, which is great. So we're going to do a bit more for parking. We also run a shuttle as well because we know that Chippewa is a little bit further out. So generally that goes from the intercity area and runs all day long so that you can get out to Chippewa Park. And then the rides will be running. I think the campground might even be open by that time too. So if you wanted to stay the weekend, you could do that too. But lots of just fun family programming for Chippewa.
And as you said, the company picnic feel, or the old time picnic kind of feel, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's the vibe. Yes.
The one that I always think of course, is Canada Day at the waterfront. I remember going there as a kid for years and years and years, right? So how is Canada Day on the waterfront going this year? Because I know we've had some changes in the last few years as well.
Yeah, for sure. So we're working really hard on Canada Day right now. So it's lots of pre-planning for all of these events because then they all happen really close together. So Canada Day this year, we're really excited. So we are programming from 3 p.m. till 9 p.m. Across Marina Park. So we're kind of taking over the whole park. We haven't done that in the last couple of years, so we're excited to expand that footprint. What we're looking at right now is running 3 different stages. So we will have a stage over in the Spirit Garden area that will be programmed with a little bit of like the smaller acts just because it's a smaller stage. And then in the baggage building area, Market Square with the splash pad and everything, that stage we usually have dance groups. We'll have some local bands this year as well. And then in the festival area will be the big stage. So we're looking to put some bigger dance groups on there as well as musical acts. That's where like the opening ceremonies takes place. The food vendors will be over there. Lots of still in the works for that event, but that's kind of the overall idea for there.
Okay. Teddy Bear's Picnic is one that my 4-year-old loves, right? And I'm sure my other little guy will love it too once he kind of figures out what's going on. But Teddy Bear's Picnic, that's been a tradition at Vickers Park for years, really.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly how long it's been going for, but we usually say that this is our longest running event and our oldest park. And so Vickers Park is, I think, maybe Fort William technically is oldest park.
Yep.
So it's a great spot. It's got the tree cover and everything too, and it's a really nice feel and setting in there. So with Teddy Bear's Picnic, this is a really great event. Last year we saw over 4,000 people out, which is lots of fun. It runs from 11 until 3 on Tuesday this year, July the 8th. And it's crazy to see that many people out on a Tuesday kind of day.
Tuesday afternoon,
right?
yeah.
Like everybody's at work and somehow
nobody's
all of
at
these,
work.
No, because they're at Teddy Bear's Picnic. Yes, this is a fun event though. So it's always a little chaotic because it is the younger kids, right? And they're all running around and having a great time. So we love that. We have over 40 community groups that usually come out and they will put on interactive exhibits. But also what's really great about that is they're sharing resources. So they'll let you know as a parent of a young child what is available for you. So we really like that part. We always try to do like story time areas. We have our stage, so we'll have some programming on there. Last year we had like a science show. We had some music. We tried to get some roving people as well. So last year we had like a juggler that was walking around. So again, lots still in the works for this year. And then what's also really fun is we do a first responders display. So we are really lucky to have Thunder Bay Fire Rescue and then Superior North EMS, as well as Thunder Bay Police come out. They bring the fire truck, the ambulance, and the police car.
I've heard about these, yes.
Yes, yeah. And if you're at the park, you also hear the honking of usually the police car. And I always tell them that they are saints for sitting through that all day long. But the kids get to go into or onto all of these different vehicles, and then they get to talk to the staff. And I think that this is a really great opportunity because you never know when you're going to meet one of these people, and usually it's not a great day, but at least getting that opportunity to meet them at somewhere like Teddy Bear's Picnic where it's fun, you realize that these are safe people that you can go to in an emergency, so it's really neat to see. And then we've also got the new playground that's at Vickers Park as
right,
well.
yes.
So that opened up last year and was a huge hit, so that's really nice. It's an accessible playground as well, so that's a big part of it. And then we always have tons of food vendors as well because all of the kids want all of the food. So yeah, it's a full event, and like I said, it runs from 11 until 3, but it is busy and it is fun.
So Teddy Bear's Picnic, as I said, I know the date now. I'm sure I'll be heading there, or my wife will be with the kids,
yes.
right? So
Yeah.
Live at the waterfront, kind of the marquee event for the season. It runs a number of weeks. Tell me a bit about how you figure out, because I think most people know what Live on the Waterfront is, right? It's a concert series that recurs.
Yeah.
But my question is, how do you figure out who plays? Like, how do you figure all that out?
It's a lot of work. So it's a great job to have and a good problem to have. So we actually do accept calls from the public. So in order to get involved in our events in general, you can fill out a call. So we have one specifically that is our calls to talent. And with that, we are looking for people to apply. So they will fill out an application. They'll tell us what kind of band they are, how many people, where they're from. They give us an example of their music. And then we do a committee meeting with our public art committee, actually. And we'll have a bit of a jury that will go through all of the different applications that have come through the call. And we'll kind of go through and we'll figure out, a lot of it is really trying to see, are they family friendly? Do they have enough content that they could fill about a 45-minute slot? And then we're always looking for different types of music. So we're not necessarily looking for cover bands. Not that we don't want those either, but we just don't want the entire thing to be cover bands. So we're always looking for different original music. We like the cultural diversity as well. So just trying to highlight different types of musicians. It could be a singular person. It could be a group. It could be a huge group. Just always looking for something different. And then we also do work with talent agents from across Canada, and we're usually trying to keep everything Canadian talent. Sometimes there are people that are touring through, like from the States, and so if it works out, we could bring them in as well. But so this year we're really looking at the Canadian talent.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we work with them as well because we're always looking for headliners. So local bands can still be headliners. We have some really great talent that's from Thunder Bay that draws a really great crowd. But we're also just looking to kind of expose people to different types of music again. And so stuff that we wouldn't normally get in Thunder Bay, or people that you wouldn't normally get get to see. And lots of times we're trying to look at people that maybe before they really hit it big, they can come to Live on the Waterfront, right? And be on our stage before they make it too big, and then we can't necessarily bring them in anymore.
Well, I remember a number of years ago you guys had the sheepdogs booked, right? And you booked them before they kind of became the next big thing.
Yes, yeah. So that happens, right? And so that's looking to who's coming up, and you never really know with musicians, right? Who's the next it person, but just trying to look at that kind of thing and see what we can bring in, and then expose the community to some new music. But what's also interesting about that is that we have a lot of times where the local bands will then meet that out of town band, and partnerships can be formed. So then they'll meet those, or they'll make those new connections. And then, they're from Toronto. So then one of our local bands is going to Toronto. They can connect with them in Toronto, help them with a show, that kind of stuff too. It's a really good opportunity also for our local musicians.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
A big finale to Live on the Waterfront this year. Can you tell me about the big finale?
Of course. Very excited about this one. So our summer send-off. So it's the Live on the Waterfront summer send-off, and it has a drone light show this year. Very excited. So that is August the 27th and 28th. And so we will have Live on the Waterfront. It's going to start likely about 6:30 p.m. just to drop us back in time a little bit. I think right now we're looking at sunset being at 8:48 p.m.
Sure.
Very specific.
So you got to wait for the 25 minutes of darkness.
Yeah, we got to wait for that, right? So we want to make sure. And so with the drone light shows, it needs to be dark. So they'll likely go off sometime around 10 o'clock. And the drone light shows are really neat. So we're looking at 2 different shows for each night, and we get to curate the images. So we get to pick kind of the themes for the shows, what we want to put in there. And we're not really telling anybody yet what those are going to be. It's going to be a surprise, but it is 2 different shows. It has to do with a local theme of Thunder Bay. This is also the first drone light shows that are happening in Northwestern Ontario. So we are very excited to do this. And this is actually thanks to a partnership with the Thunder Bay Airport. So they really wanted to do something for the community, and we had this opportunity to partner with them. And so they're kind of putting on one of the shows, we're doing the other show. We're working together for the whole thing. But it's going to make 2 really fun nights at the marina.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. And I haven't seen a drone light show in person. I've certainly seen videos of them, and they're something else.
It's really neat because, so like fireworks are big, they're awesome, and they're in the sky, all that kind of stuff. But it's like the big bang boom kind of thing. Whereas the drones are quiet, and you actually get to pick what the image looks like. So that's going to be really fun, where you're going to see some images in the sky that you're going to recognize. They maybe have a storytelling component with them as well. So very excited about that. And we'll be sharing more information throughout the summer to get everybody excited. But yeah, it's a really neat thing. And it's a different use of technology too. We can also put music towards to these, and then we can have narration with them as well. So lots of different opportunities with the drones.
And you're still kind of figuring it all out, it sounds like.
There's a ton of logistics that goes along with this. And then we are working with a company to do all of this. This isn't us putting up drones. Not that good. So we work with them. And so they're helping us. So we've kind of curated the images. What they'll do next is they go actually back and they do the computer renderings of what those drone images will look like in the sky. And then they'll show those to us. And then we can go, yeah, that looks like what we wanted it to look like. And then they kind of put the show together so that we can kind of get an idea of what that's going to be. We'll start with the music and the narration and all that kind of stuff. So really different, lots of logistics that goes into this. And then also just like we have road closures that go with it.
Right.
We'll have tons of more people out at the park, all that kind of stuff. So lots of things. And then we want to promote it as well. So it adds additional work to an already busy event season, but totally worth it. And it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about a couple of the challenges that you have for organizing the events, because there's obviously a lot that goes into these. So what are some of the things that maybe people don't think of that you've got to consider?
For sure. So we work with a ton of different groups. So this isn't always just me planning an event by myself. That's not possible. So we work with a lot of really great people. Internally, we work with areas like parks that help us to, like, if we're in Marina Park, we need staff. We need to make sure that the park is ready, all of that kind of stuff. Say something for Teddy Bear's Picnic. We're working with 40 different community groups that come together. We're working with our first responders. So it really kind of takes a community to put this all together. And then we also have vendors, like food vendors. We have artisans. We have programmers. All of the different activities. It's not just me going, I'm going to buy a bouncy castle and put it up. Right?
Yes.
So yes. So it's all those different pieces and putting it all together. And then just simple things too, like road closures. If we have to close a parking lot, getting Thunder Bay Police to come in, do paid duty, or just getting road closures approved. Like there's lots of behind the scenes things as well. So it's a lot of work, but it's always a lot of fun work.
If people want to get involved, because I know a lot of these events run on volunteers as well, how can people get involved?
For sure. So you can go to our website. So it's thunderbay.ca/events, and you can be a part of it. So you can find that section on the website. And on there, we have our calls for, like I said, the talent. So we have our talent musicians. We're also looking for talent other. So if you have a bit of a different skill, so maybe an MC, maybe a dance group, but also are you a juggler? Do you make balloon animals? What kind of neat and unique skills do you have? Apply there. We're looking for artisans to be a part of our events. We're really wanting food vendors as well. So, and there's also event vendors if you're looking to sell something. So you can apply on there. And what that does is that really helps us to put all of the information kind of together. We ask the questions that we need to know. And then even just if it's social media links, that kind of stuff too. So we get all of the information that we need from there. And then we'll contact people from those links. And then if you are looking to volunteer, you can also go to our website and on that Be a Part of It, you'll find the link to the website for volunteers as well. And the volunteer program, we have a ton of volunteers actually that work in a bunch of different areas in recreation and culture. We're very lucky, but we're always looking for more. It's a really great experience to get involved with the different things that are happening in the community. It's a great way too for students to get their volunteer hours.
Yes.
Yeah, that's always a good one. And then we have a bit of an onboarding with that. And then they go through a little bit of training, and then they are ready to kind of sign up on whatever events that they're available for.
So based on how many things that you have going on and how many of these are repeat events, based on Live on the Waterfront, and then we've also got Teddy Bear's Picnic, those sorts of things, how successful would you say that events in the city of Thunder Bay are?
I would like to think that they're very successful. So we've definitely seen growth since the pandemic. It took people a little while to get out of their houses, and we still are really wanting to encourage people to still come out, get together as a community. But overall, we've seen a lot of success. So Teddy Bear's Picnic came back in 2023. And the first year that we had it, I think we had about 2,500 people. And then last year we had 4,000. So that was really great. Yeah. Kite Festival, that's a hard one because in 2023, when we brought it back, we had the snowbirds, and you can't compete with the snowbirds.
Right, yeah.
Right? So very different event.
Powerful kites.
Yes. But when we did bring it to Chippewa Park, we weren't really sure how many people would come out, and we had over 2,000 in the park that day. So we are seeing people coming back out. And even Snow Day this year, we had over 3,000 people. And despite the cold weather, that was a really great turnout as well. So we are seeing people come out, and we just really want to encourage people also to start coming back out again. If you're not, come out, hang out with your community, hang out with your neighbors, your friends. And it's just a really great time to get together.
You plan summer festivals, essentially, and some in the winter, too. It sounds like a pretty fun job. So what's your favorite part of your job?
I have the best job. I tell everybody all the time that I have the coolest job in the city of Thunder Bay. I think... So my event nerd part of me loves the logistics. I love to figure out when we're closing a road, what we have to do, how many barricades do we need, how many security people do I need, all of that kind of stuff, all the behind the scenes thing. But what's really neat about events is it's stress. And then the event happens, and you see the people, and you see them enjoying the event, and you go, oh, that's because of all of the work that I put into
right.
this. It's paid off now, right? And I think that that's one of the rewards of doing this job is actually getting to see the people out. When you're at Teddy Bear's Picnic and you see the families and you see the young kids and they're having a great time and they're walking around with their faces painted and that kind of stuff, that makes it all worth it for sure.
Well, Karen, I appreciate you taking a few minutes coming in from planning today. Thank you very much.
Of course. Thank you, Jeff.
That's Karen Kadolph. She is the city's special events developer, and she joined me today in the Minutes studio. And a big thanks for watching the Minutes this week. Of course, if you want more information about City Council, agendas, or minutes, visit thunderbay.ca/council. If you want to listen to past episodes or maybe provide some feedback, visit our website at thunderbay.ca/theminutes. You can also find the Minutes wherever you get your podcasts, plus you can find us on YouTube. If you want to keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening at City Hall, just hit that subscribe button. I'm Jeff Walters. Thanks for watching this week. We'll chat again next week. Make it a great day.